So with our first soul successfully delivered to death, we wake the next day to find a mysterious message on our pillow. It seems our next-door neighbor, Neko Zombie, has something important to tell us, and I get a strong feeling that it has to do with the next soul that we're going to have to get.
You sleep well? I've got to talk to you about you-know-what. No, Catherine? Time for a blood test. Oh, this is so good. Catherine loves to draw blood from people she doesn't like. Lives 2 doors down from me in room 104. Shh, somebody's listening. I heard that. That child is collecting souls. I think it's time for a blood sample. Guess it won't be that easy to collect the souls after all. I'll give you some hints about how to go about getting people's souls.
Now, we won't really need to indulge Neko Zombie with all the bits of advice he has this time around. We already have a pretty good grasp on peeking, and I think we can figure out how to avoid being seen. Really, though, we want to figure out more about these blue flames. Now, we already know that the blue flames signify the lost souls that we have to collect, but it's good to realize that they are usually a pretty clear indication as to when someone is carrying around a soul. If you don't see that blue flame, that generally means that their soul is going to be somewhere else in the hotel. Secondly, we've already been given the button prompt for knocking on doors. It's just that there is more to knocking on doors than just being courteous. You can use knocking on doors to distract people, or just to see if maybe they're in the room that you're trying to knock on the door of. For now, though, I think it's time to bite the bullet and go see if we can't meet Catherine outside. Now, it's a bit disconcerting that right now we can't really see anybody on the map, but we were told her room is pretty close by.
This is so awesome.
Ames, you nasty child! Stop throwing your garbage on the floor! Someone stepped on it and had an accident! Where is that brat? James! The one who has to clean up all of your messes.
It certainly seems like Gregory has a menace to deal with, though we also have one of our own.
Oh, that face makes me want to do terrible things to you. I think I'll make your job harder by running away.
And Catherine was really not joking when she said she was going to make our job a lot more difficult. Because even though it might seem like she's a large gal, she definitely has some speed on her side. Now, I guess we are going to have to figure out some way to stop her, because we're not going to be able to catch up to her on foot. Though, I guess since we do have a little bit of time, we can start exploring some of the rest of this floor, I guess. Or not. even though we are pretty much free to roam the main hallway here, a lot of the first floor is still very much locked off to us right now. Which is a bit of a shame because I could certainly go for a dip in the jacuzzi right now. It is nice though, we are able to see some of the future locations that we can get to. Just doesn't really help us in our current predicament. Though I do recall last time that, well, once we talked to Gregory, we were able to get some useful tidbits, so I guess we should maybe go try to talk to him. And also, it will give us a nice chance to see just the rest of this side of the floor here. It's good to keep a mental track of pretty much where everything is. So it appears that there might already be some other occupants in the hotel.
What are you doing?
And oh yeah, if you thought James was an annoyance to Gregory, you really haven't seen anything yet because, yeah, he is quite tenacious in following us as well. Now it does appear that we've almost caught up with Gregory.
Catherine, you say? Yes, just recently she slipped on a banana peel that James left lying around. Just be careful that you don't do the same. Otherwise, you might slip and end up dropping something important.
Well, that certainly does seem like a setup for us. Who knows, maybe James will be nice enough to give us some information, though. Yeah, he is more apt to insult us. Which is understandable, he is a little piece of shit. Though he does give us one useful, albeit very odd piece of information. It seems that the first day we arrived, Grandpa Gregory said that, well, we would make a great sacrifice. Definitely a foreboding term for a guest. I guess we really shouldn't ponder on it too much. Still, I really do wish that James would just leave us alone. And there are, I guess, a few ways that you can get James to leave you alone, though I find the most useful way is to do what I do in my videos and just, well, end up boring people away.
Shoot.
Yeah, given enough time and enough wondering, James will just lose interest in you and finally leave you alone, which is something I appreciate. Especially considering this very lavish, lovely dining room. And usually, what's next to a dining room but a well-stocked kitchen? And as you can probably assume, maybe if you're in the first world, normally kitchens have food in them, and that might just be the perfect place to find a banana peel. And even though it might not be the most well-kept kitchen, it's still apparently necessary to warn people away from feeding the Neko zombie. And I would feel remiss in not teaching some of you out there Japanese, but Neko is Japanese for cat, so it's a zombie cat. Still, with a little bit of searching, we finally find what we have been looking for right here in the rubbish. And since we have now collected our second key item, we now find out how we can easily switch between the key items we have on us. Because while the key is pretty much an instant use item, the banana peel is our first item which we have to use in, I guess, a competitive way? Now you can see the yellow triangle there is to indicate where our trap is laid with the banana peel. And it's with this that we should be able to get that soul from Catherine. Now, while there are a number of ways that you can set up a trap here, I feel that since we haven't actually gone into Catherine's room just yet, we can set up a trap in there and also take a little peek into the unknown. And thankfully this time around I managed to go so quickly that I do lose James. We wouldn't want him around to spoil our well-laid trap. And inside the belly of the beast here, there are a few odd photographs. And let's say some spilled ketchup. And a very informative poster about charity work of giving blood, but it's time to lay down our trap, hide away, and wait and see for the carnage to unfold. And our first real success of the game, because we've got our first hard-fought one, lost soul.
Job, but Catherine's on the warpath. If she gets you, it'll be needle time.
Gone! It's gone! My soul, it's gone! Kid must have taken it. Now I'm really angry.
What can you do about it? Simple. Just run away. Oh, one last thing. Yes. Around here, the power of your beliefs is everything. Your mental gauge, the strength of your mind, drops to 0. You'll never be able to escape from this place. That? I saved the worst for last? Yes. Sorry about that.
So what would be a mortal struggle for our immortal soul without a little bit of danger? That's right, we now have a health gauge. There are a number of things that can cause it to drop, but if it drops to 0, we are dead forever.
Mental gauge represents the strength of your mind. Whenever you're carrying a soul, it'll resonate with your mind and make it stronger for a while. It means you have to consider when you're going to hand a soul over to death. So, when you're starting to lose your wits, use an herb item to restore your mental power. By reading a good book, yes, you can actually increase your mental gauge. Am I telling you all this? I'm just worried about you, that's all. Right. Tomorrow, you'll be going after Judgment Boy's soul. Yes. No, Judgment Boy?
Do you know my name? Judgment!
Judgment Boy came to the hotel to pass final judgment on troubled hearts. You did a good job today. Now, go go back to your room and get some rest. Tomorrow's another big day.
So after our first hard-fought battle and our first indication of the dangers that lay ahead, I think we have earned a well-deserved rest. So I'll see you next time.
Come on now! Give it up! Throw away all them worries. Oh, it's you! Did you manage to pick up any souls? Oh, you only brought me one, huh? I take it? Hey, thanks a lot. Here, I'll stamp your card for you. Good luck there, buddy!
Well then, better start getting ready to receive the new guest.